Hello, welcome back to Project SLXy, my 1997 Acura SLX. As you can see here, it's still in the shop and hasn't gone anywhere. I'm still working on the timing belt and issues that went along with it. If anybody saw my last video, you'll know that when I was removing hoses to fix the timing belt, you can see here, the end of my heater core broke off, just like my radiator broke. The plastic is just really fragile after 23 years, so finally got a new radiator or heater core in today, and that's what the neck should look like. So you can see about 1.5 inches or so busted off of mine at the end. The heater core itself is still good, but that neck was shot. So as you can see, the whole dash and pretty much about half of the interior had to come out in order to get to that. There are a few things here that I pulled, like I didn't have to pull the seats. You don't have to pull the center console there and stuff, but while I had so much stuff taken apart, I wanted to get it out and be able to clean out underneath the seats and in detail all of these parts. Every single one of them was sanitized, washed with Dawn dish detergent, sprayed off with a hose, dried out. All the switches were cleaned out with contact cleaner and rubbing alcohol. The tape heads were cleaned on the tape deck. The little eye on the CD player was cleaned out. Everything was cleaned out, but in order to do this heater core, you have to pull the dash out. This is what you're left with by the time you get to the heater core. Not a lot left in the interior. It was absolutely disgusting underneath everything. You know, in the end, I'm glad that this project happened, because it'll really make this car shine and just make it a lot nicer of a daily driver. So yeah, there's the interior. I vacuumed it out. I've cleaned out. I lifted up all the wiring harness and cleaned out with, you know, soapy water underneath everything. I wiped down, sprayed down everything that's left behind in here that I could. So it's at this point ready to go back together. As you can see, it's not a project for the faint of heart here. There's a lot of things that had to come apart for this. There's somewhere around 50 some things here that were all cleaned and detailed and, you know, pulled out of the car. So it's just, you gotta, there's having the book is key to this. Following the steps of the book made it so much more straightforward. And you know, unless you have a photographic memory, you're not going to remember the way all of this stuff went in. It's very true that all of it kind of only goes one way, so eventually you're going to figure it out, but having the book makes the steps a lot clearer. You know, so as you can see, the on-vehicle service for the heater unit here, you know, the number one thing they want you to remove is the dash before you even get to the heater. They call it the instrument panel assembly, and you have to go to a whole other section in the book, and there's 17 steps. If you follow those 17 steps in order, things come out pretty orderly out of this. You know, it tells you, the book tells you where all the clips and fasteners are for each piece, and I followed along, and it all came out just fine. And if I follow in reverse order, should get it all back together without any rattles, is my hope. But here's another list of all the things you have to take out, and tells you how many screws and clips and nuts and everything is on each piece. So we'll start putting her back together pretty quick here. Now that my heater core is shown up, it took a little while to get that heater core, and they are not super easily available, I'll say. I saw some online in the $200 to $300 price range. I found one on eBay for $50, but it said it was the last one. So I'm supposing that these will start to get rare, just like the first gen ones have. So snatch up those heater cores while you got them. But the moral of this story, once again, is keep an eye on the plastic around those cooling units, that the heater core and the radiator, because that stuff really gets brittle. In order to do this, I did have to decharge the air conditioning unit. I want to say thanks to Dave at Pat's Auto Care here in Everett, Washington. Came by the house, took care of it for me. He'll swing back by when I'm all done and recharge it for me. So yeah, just be careful when you're taking all this stuff apart. A lot of stuff's brittle. Take your time, and everything should go good. Let's see, the only thing I did find that's getting, well, actually two things I found that are getting pretty soft in these, when the heater box has to be separated in order to get the heater core out, and some of the foam that had a little bit more impact when the vents would close. When I washed it, it did disintegrate a little bit there, and I think it's likely from sun exposure, but the little grill that covers the defroster was cracked in two places when I pulled it out, so I super glued it in a couple of places. It turned out pretty decent on the top side of it, so I'm going to put that back in because there's none available at the junkyard right now. You don't have to pull the dash apart in order to get that thing out, so if I find one at the junkyard that's in good shape, I'll probably snag it, but at the moment there's no second gen Troopers of this era nearby. I still have yet to locate any replacement seats. I would like to find factory leather for it and be able to, like I've said before, I think that the passenger and driver are symmetrical, so I can strip apart a passenger and move the upholstery over to a driver at some point. So I just kind of cleaned up around the base of the seats for now, and they're just going to go back in. They're pretty easy to pull out. So that's where she stands right now. There is all of the pieces that I have to put back together now. So next time you see it, should be all complete, clean, and ready to drive. Thanks for watching.